Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 things that I really wish I had known prior to homeschooling. I do have a post on my website, I'll link it in the description down below, where I talk about all of the things I wish I had known, but for today's video, just to keep it on the shorter side, I'm going to talk about the top 5 things. I just wish somebody would have come alongside me and given me a good shake, because I spent a lot of time worrying about things that I don't think I had to worry about so much. So I'm going to share them with you. Consider me that person giving you a little shake so that you don't have to worry about the wrong things and you can focus on all of the right things. Number 1, the very first thing I wish I had known before I started homeschooling was the difference between homeschool and school at home. They are very different things. Oftentimes, when you start homeschooling, you feel this need, this urge, if you will, or pressure to recreate the school setting inside your home. So you go on Pinterest and you look up homeschool classrooms and you find all these cute pictures and you see the chalkboard and the desks and the bookshelves and you think that that's what you must have in order to succeed at homeschooling. Listen, my friends, that is completely wrong. Homeschooling and public school or private school are very different things. You do not need to try to recreate the public school system or the classroom system inside your home. The best thing that you can do is to find somewhere in your home that you already genuinely love. For me, that's my sunroom, which is where I'm in now. It could be your living room, could be your kitchen table, could be your bedroom. Find a place that you love to spend time together and use that as your area where you're going to hang out and do school time. My sunroom, as I said, is my favorite spot. I do have all of our school resources in here so that it's just readily available to us when we want to use them. But I have not set this room up to be a classroom because then, to be honest, I probably would never want to be in here. The other element of not trying to create school at home is you do not need to cover your walls with the colored laminated posters. You know, the ones that have the alphabet, maybe you'll have multiplication tables. You don't need to do that, okay? I don't know anybody who wants to decorate their home in laminated educational posters. I tried this. This is how I know. I put up a bunch. I thought, oh, this is great. I went on Amazon. I bought ones with pictures of our currency and with the multiplication tables and division and the hundreds chart, and I put them on my wall. And the entire time that they were on our wall, my children learned 0 from those posters because they didn't really care about posters. So don't redo your home in educational decor just because you think you have to. That is not how your children are going to learn, and I promise you they can learn without the posters. Number 2, very important. Please, if nothing else, please resist the urge to compare yourself with other homeschool families. This is a trap. And it's a trap that I think probably most homeschool parents fall into. I would argue maybe more so homeschool moms. As women, we tend to talk and share the things that we're doing. So it's easy to hear other ideas and then start to compare and think, oh, well, Sharon's doing this and Amanda's doing this. No. Every family is different and unique, including yours. Your children, they have their own strengths, their own weaknesses, their own interests. Do not compare yourself to any other family. If you start comparing yourself with other families, you're always going to find something that you feel that you're doing wrong. So please, I'm begging you, don't compare yourself with other homeschool families. Just don't do it. Just don't even go there. Number 3, I wish that I knew before I started homeschooling that I do not have to do all of the things. I do not have to go to every single homeschool community event. I do not have to attend every field trip with my children. I do not have to do every single science experiment that you can find on YouTube. It is just not necessary. As a homeschool parent, we have a lot on our plate, and our children are going to thrive with the freedom of their time. Therefore, why would we try to clutter up their schedules with all these things just to feel like we're doing enough? Because I promise you, that's not going to help. You're going to end up stressed out. Your kids are going to be stressed out. It's not the way to go. Now, that's not to say that those things are bad. They're not bad. And finding a good balance between those things and your home life, that's good. But you do not have to do it all. You can say no. You can politely pass on a field trip opportunity or a group event. Even with extracurricular activities, be careful how many things you schedule your kids for. Just because they're not at public school during the day does not mean that you have to fill up all of their play hours, all of their time with different classes and sports things and music things. Don't do that, okay? You do not have to do it all. If you need permission, this is me giving you the permission to say no and protect your family time at home. Number 4, homeschooling is actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, but in a very different way than I thought. I thought it was going to be hard to teach math and science because those weren't my strong subjects when I was growing up. So I thought, oh man, how am I going to teach these things to my kids? I focused on that as being the hard. And in reality, people, that's actually the easy part. There are so many resources out there, so many curriculums, so many free online things. Don't worry about teaching a subject you're not strong in because you're not going to have to worry about that. Just trust me. What is hard is being consistent as a homeschool mom. As mothers, we have all sorts of things going on in our minds at once. We're trying to focus on the homeschool time with our kids, but we also have laundry going. We have to clean the house. Maybe the dog is barking. Maybe there's a baby that needs their diaper changed. We need to get groceries. There's just blah, 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 just everything going on in our head all the time. So it's easy to wake up one morning and say, oh, I just have so much to do today and we're just not going to do school. Now, it's okay to do that. Okay, you can take a day off. You can take a week off if you want to. It's your schedule is your schedule. You just have to make sure that you can keep some sort of routine and rhythm going in your day because children do really well with routine. And even moms, at least I know myself, I do really well with routine as well. So if I stay consistent, then everybody in the family sort of knows what to expect. If I need a day off or if one of my kids needs a day off, totally fine. But we still have to maintain some sort of rhythm. I did not expect that would be hard, but it kind of is. Maybe it won't be for you. Maybe you're absolutely fantastic at all of that, and maybe I just need a lot of personal growth. But for me, I wish I knew that before I started homeschooling. The other thing that is harder than I thought it was going to be is dealing with rejection from my own children. Let me explain. There have been times that I have really gone above and beyond and planned this great event or this great unit study on something that I really thought they would love. And I went through and I got everything hole punched and I laminated what I want laminated and I got everything prepared and I was so excited and so gung-ho for this thing. And I present it to my children and they're like, we don't want to do this. And then maybe there's tears and they're whining. Or one day they like it and then the next day they're like, Mom, we don't want to do that today. And it's like I'm heartbroken because I tried really hard to make this nice for them. So then I feel rejected. And human instinct is to turn rejection into hurt and sometimes hurt into anger because sometimes you feel like, well, how dare you say that? I just spent all this time trying to make this thing good for you. But please, as a homeschool parent, we need to let go a little bit when it comes to the control factor. Yes, obviously, we're the parents. Ultimately, we decide what we're going to do in our day. But sometimes things don't work. Sometimes I might think something is going to be really exciting and really fun for my children. Turns out I was really wrong. So I need to, eat my slice of humble pie and just accept that they're allowed to have a say in things as well. And I want them to enjoy their school experience. And if I want them to enjoy their school experience and I want them to really develop a love of learning, I can't be shoving things down their throat that they absolutely hate just because I may have spent a lot of time on said things. Number 5, the last thing I'm going to go over today is that homeschooling can really be so beautiful. So it can be hard, yes, but there is a magic in homeschooling that I wish I knew about before starting, because if I did, I probably would have started homeschooling a lot sooner than I did. Just doing life together, just living day in and day out together as a family, it creates this bond that it's almost hard to put it into words. So I'm sorry if I'm rambling a little bit, but it really is beautiful. Homeschooling is a beautiful, magical thing. As a parent, when you homeschool your children, you create this really strong relationship with them. And then you start to see your children as siblings create this really strong sibling relationship. And younger kids, they really benefit from the example and the wisdom of the older children. And the older children really gain a lot of sense of responsibility when they have their younger siblings around. And sometimes your older ones might help your younger ones with maybe reading a book or with a math problem that they're struggling with. And then it gives your older children a real sense of accomplishment and confidence. And it's just so beautiful to watch all of these things unfold. I wish I knew that, because I honestly think I would have started sooner. I think that if I knew how amazing and how good homeschooling really, really is, it probably would have helped me to overcome some of the doubts and fears that actually kept me from homeschooling for a certain time in my life. I encourage you, if you aren't yet homeschooling, and if you're just struggling with doubts and fears and worries and questions and feeling inadequate, just get rid of that stuff. You love your children, you know your children, and you have their best interests at heart. I know that you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. You are not alone. There are so many people homeschooling right now, so many resources. Find a homeschool community near you. I know that you can do it. The last thing that I'll say is that if you are looking for a little bit of help, say with maybe setting up a routine, I had talked about routines and rhythms in your day. I do have on my website, I have an entire blog post written all about how to set a morning routine that actually works for your family. Because I know you hear all these things, do this and do that and make a chart and but I don't know about you, but a lot of those charts and things, they don't really work. So I've written up a blog post full of very practical tips on how you can create a morning routine that actually works and is sustainable for your family. I will link that in the description box below. I also have another blog post written up. If you are somebody, maybe you aren't currently homeschooling, maybe you're still considering it, or I do have a blog post written up all about the top reasons why you should homeschool. And I touch on a few of these things I've discussed, but there's a lot more detail on there. So I will link both of those in the description below, so you can feel free to check those out. Thanks so much for being here with me today, friends. If you could, just take a second, click like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much.